Today's show is sponsored by ExpressVPN, one-click protection for all your devices. Securing yourself couldn't be easier. Visit expressvpn.com/inside. Hey everybody, welcome back to Inside Gaming for December the 30th. We're almost to the end of the year. We're
Thank
here.
God.
Almost. We almost made it. And today we're talking about disasters. And 2020 hasn't had too many of them. It's been a pretty awesome year in some, but
yeah, everything's been great.
Video game wise, though, there have been a few. And to kick things off, this is pretty much a no-brainer. Number one, COVID-19.
Oh.
COVID-19 is one of those, it's kind of hard because it really overshadows everything else, from the loss of life to every gaming convention pretty much, I think, shut down, to all the delayed games, to everybody forced to work from home. So it's kind of the 800-pound gorilla. It's my number one pick for biggest disasters of 2020. I don't know how anything else honestly can live up, but what do you guys think?
I'm looking at the other disasters that are to come in our discussion, and like at least half of them fall under the umbrella of COVID.
Of COVID-19.
So, yeah, that should give you some idea as to the scope.
We kind of just had to get it out of the way before we talked about everything else.
Yeah.
And that brings up our next one, the shortages of the next-gen consoles. Obviously talking about the PS5 and the Series X and S. They've had terrible shortages all year. And again, yes, you're absolutely right. A lot of this had to do with COVID-19. They're launching a next generation of consoles in the middle of the pandemic. There were supply issues related to the factories in China, made worse by scalpers using bots, and they're just going to be shortages to begin with. I mean, these things are going to be popular even in the best of times. We saw this with the Wii U, the PS2. I mean, lots of consoles had this, but it has been, I would say, worse than normal.
You can also attack in the fact that as soon as, quarantine happened, Switches disappeared. Bots were claiming those, and resellers were there for that. And pretty much every console had that a little bit. Switch was probably arguably way worse, and since we have PS5 and Series X and Series S now, those are getting the brunt of it now. So hey, you can still find a Switch though.
On the one end, it's like, okay, it's good that the industry's growing, but at the same time, it's like, God damn it, I just want a PS5, and it's like impossible to get it.
I feel like veteran gamers such as myself should get first priority. The same way active duty military members get to board the plane first.
Exactly.
You say that as we roll you in your wheelchair with the blanket over your lap.
I was gonna say Brian's first in line for the vaccine, first in line for the PS5, first in line for the plane. Like, there's some benefits to age. Yeah.
No, it's a combo. It's like a Taco Bell Pizza Hut.
Moving on, Halo and this is kind of COVID adjacent too. Halo Infinite's terrible reception. So you can make the argument that everyone was working from home, and that's why the game looked terrible, I guess, but they've been working on Halo Infinite for years and years and years now, and obviously the gameplay they showed off in the summer did not have the impact that they wanted. It didn't look bad, but it sort of looked like a current gen game rather than like the next gen, just sort of spectacular. It became a meme.
It looked great for 2013.
Yeah, exactly, and so they bumped it, and the reason why it makes the disaster list is they clearly wanted it to launch with the Series X and S, and obviously it can't now. It's coming out sometime in 2021, but a pretty bad look for Microsoft.
Yeah, it's like we saw that, and I liked it. Like, I was like, this is fine. This is Halo. If the mechanics are there, it's going to be great. But also, I can understand of like you're ushering in a new console generation, and everybody's just like, what? This is it? Like, this is the big thing.
That's the problem.
Yeah, there needs to be a wow factor to it.
Fine isn't good enough.
You can't be out here making okay games and Ubisoft is hitting 80 after 80 out of the park. I mean, really, they've got it on lock, making visually nice, but ultimately okay games.
So cool that they've just like been reskinning their open world games for like 10 years.
Moving on to our next biggest disaster. The new Oculus requires a Facebook account. Now, obviously, they've been owned by Facebook for a few years now, and always at the beginning, they're like, no, it's going to be fine. There's not going to be any integration. You're not going to have a Facebook account. Guess what? You do. People have been furious about it, and I don't blame them, because Facebook accounts accounts. Not everybody wants them for very good reasons.
It sucks.
I was really looking forward to actually like finally getting into VR and maybe things being a little bit more accessible and easier to do in smaller spaces. And this looks like it actually ticks all those boxes, except for I don't want to have a Facebook account.
It would be one thing if Facebook accounts were like other social media accounts where you're like, okay, here's my username, I'll register the email address.
A real easy dummy account.
Yeah, you can make like so many Twitter accounts. That's why we have like 400 the fly on Mike Pence's head accounts. But
they don't want you to have a dummy account because how are they supposed to sell that info to Cambridge Analytica?
Exactly.
That's how Mark Zuckerberg gets high.
That's not even a joke. Like if your Facebook account breaks, that's what they want you to use to authenticate your profile is your actual ID.
Oculus doesn't like it. Like the Facebook integration isn't like this annoying thing that's throughout all of it. It's like you use it for the account making, but then it's not like they're not trying to force a bunch of like vanillaware, dumb Facebook integration on you. Like I kind of constantly forget that I had to link a Facebook account.
yeah, I understand what you're saying though, because I also feel like my user experience hasn't been hampered, but it is just a constant frustration that if I wanted to get rid of my Facebook, I could lose access to games that I paid for.
It's also a scary harbinger, I feel like, of things to come. We are 4 nominees in. We're going to get to the next few in just a minute, but first, let's talk about the good folks at Logitech.
All right, where are we dropping? I'm just kidding. I'm not playing a video game. It's me, Connor, from Inside Gaming. Today's episode is brought to you by Logitech G733 Lightspeed Wireless RGB Gaming Headset. Yes, it's this one. What do I like best about it? Probably the range, because I can go get a snack while I'm still talking to my pals who are playing the game, and I left because I died early. Anyway, the G733 Lightspeed wireless gaming headset has 2.4 gigahertz wireless connectivity, front-facing dual zone, LightSync RGB, Blue Voice mic technology, Pro G audio drivers, and multiple colorways to choose from. As I referenced, there is total freedom. You got up to 20 meters of wireless range with Lightspeed Wireless, and you can keep playing with over 29 hours of battery life, and you can play wirelessly at a PlayStation 4 with stereo sound. It's got front-facing dual zone LightSync RGB lighting, and you can personalize your headset lighting across style. And, might I say, comfort. The reversible suspension headband is designed for ultimate comfort during long play sessions. And each G733 colorway has its own unique headband design. It's cool. It's got kind of like it's got a pattern, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And for a limited time, Logitech G is offering our viewers express shipping at logitechg.com. Just use code Inside Gaming Daily News free ship 12.30. No spaces, capitalize the first letter of each word. Again, it is Inside Gaming Daily News free ship 12.30 for express shipping today. That's express shipping for all Logitech G products. Again, with promo code Inside Gaming Daily News free ship 12.30. Hurry now since the promo code expires in 3 days. What are you doing watching this video? Quick, go order a headset. Thank you, Logitech G.
All right, we're back, and that brings us to the number 5 nominee, and nothing funny about this, all the harassment allegations at Ubisoft. What a show they had this year. We had sort of high-ranking executives let go. There's a ton of stuff going on, but basically lots of allegations of harassment, toxicity. They took an anonymous survey of nearly 14,000 employees. 1 in 4 said they had either witnessed or experienced workplace misconduct themselves in the last 2 years. The results also noted that women and non-binary employees witnessed or were more likely to experience or witness harassment than men. Definitely sounds like a bit of a boys club, to put it very mildly, over at Ubisoft. But yeah, this was just a terrible story that just kept getting more terrible all year.
Yeah, I think the big revelation here too was that how far up the company chain it ran, to like the top branches of leadership. It sucks for the fans who have to put themselves in a situation where it's like they like Assassin's Creed, they like Watch Dogs or whatever, and they want to play these games and not be have to think about like, did whoever was working on this or whoever like forced workers to work on this like behave according to like the law?
Or what if you don't like Assassin's Creed, but you're a big fan of harassment? I mean, you're also like caught in the middle there too.
I mean, yeah, that would be, you don't wanna ignore a huge swath of the gaming audience.
I'm gonna buy an extra Ubisoft game this year.
You know those guys are out there.
Oh, of course.
Moving on to number 6, and that would be Cyberpunk 2077 and its many, many delays. Now, we are recording this a bit early. As of right now, it's scheduled to come out in about 9 days. Really, 2020 was just Cyberpunk edging us for the entire year. I mean, there were just a delay after delay. What was it supposed to come out first in April? Then they bumped it to September, then November. And November, they were like, absolutely, it's coming out. It's gone gold. They told investors, we're not going to delay it anymore. Oops, we're delaying it again to December 10th.
Now they've finally taken the cock cage off and are ready to let us explode.
That's right. Yes, there were probably more than normal, but once the game is out, I feel like people just sort of instantly forget how long they had to wait for it, though.
To quote Miyazaki or whoever said, the good game's bad forever.
Oh,
a
he's
good
A good game is forever.
It's bad. It's a good game for a little bit. It's a good game forever.
Yeah, good game, bad game, and is delayed is
Forever. The good, the bad, and the game.
What just happened?
Kill two good
There was
games
a lot
with
of
one
words
bad
and nobody
stone,
said anything meaningful. That's what just happened.
Ashes to ashes, cyber to punk.
All right, let's move on to the last one. It is, speaking of big games of the year, The Last of Us 2 was a massive game, massively anticipated. But then there were the leaks of the plot that happened earlier this year, which led to people getting mad because they didn't like what was leaked, which led to a lot of fan harassment. The director got threatened, the voice actor got threatened, just really crappy behavior all around. So definitely, it got to the point where Naughty Dog had to put out a statement on it, the director, Neil Druckmann. So just a really a crappy reminder that some people are awful,
Most people.
Well, I don't know. It's hard to, it's always hard to get a gauge on how many of these are. They definitely make a lot of noise, though.
We guess we can speak, like, not even anecdotally, but from our own perspective. Like, doing any content about that game just brought a dirge of people to come in and comment. Not even about the subjects of which, like, our videos were on, but just to kind of be terrible, which sucks. And it's, like, not something we like to see. I know Amir made a video about it. I did a spoiler cast for Last of Us 2, and it was rampant, And it's like, we'd like to have, like, conversations about these games, but, people not even giving it a chance because of those leaks and what they, did or didn't experience, like, actually playing the game.
Right. I fucking hate People, man.
Magazine?
Oh, yeah. No, I hate People magazine.
Harsh words from Amir.
Sorry, you hate celebrity news.
Yeah. I think The Last of Us 2 is definitely the game that made me realize how toxic, I hate using that word, but it's like the only word that's suitable here. It's a video game, right? Like, at the end of the day, it's a work of fiction. It's such a disgusting time, especially to be like in this industry. It was just like, y'all are fucking gross, man. Like, just play the game and shut up.
Did any of them play the game?
A good majority of them didn't.
I think the comparison I draw a lot to this game, what if Metal Gear Solid 2, which had a big plot twist pretty early on, had leaked early, would people have been this upset? And I mean, maybe...
That's a really good point.
If Metal Gear Solid 2 happened in 2020, we would have seen something very similar.
I'm gonna make like a pretty sweeping comparison here, but it felt like a lot of people got directly off the MCU train onto The Last of Us. You love the character, and nothing happens to those characters. It's actually really cool to see them. And look, it's Thor, and then there's Thor again.
That's right. And in the future, we need everything to be the same. Everything should make us feel good.
Right. We need the first game again, but different.
Everything needs to follow the same formula.
It did feel like you're right about MCU, and I think before that, the new Star Wars movies, I think there was a lot of that.
Well, I mean, those movies are bad, so let's just...
And I had to add a lifetime honorable mention to Star Citizen. They made honorable mention this year.
Wait, I just got an email. Star Citizen out and better than ever? And they gave all the backers back their money and the game's codes?
Yes.
It's mobile only.
Big shout out to Star Citizen and Google Stadia for all of the stories that you bailed me out of during slow days. I appreciate it. All right, those are our biggest disasters of 2020. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of the year.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.